So triple threat.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Everything good?
Yeah,
My
nice to
pleasure
meet
to meet you. You're gonna love the guys.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up? Oh, how are you?
Yeah, this is my first time meeting all three of them. So obviously people that I've seen on TV and admired, and now getting to work with them, I would definitely say my first impression is they're very funny and they make it easy to work with. Very fun too.
They say silence is golden, but in the world of professional sports, silence is usually where legacies go to die. For 239 long, agonizing days, the basketball world held its breath. Since we last saw her lighting up the scoreboard, the noise surrounding the Indiana Fever's Golden Girl had settled into a low hum.
It's not like we're working. This is just fun and funny, and we just get to have a good time.
I'm way down the counter.
Caitlin has a great personality too. She's into it just as much as we're into it.
You can do better.
You can poke fun at it.
He handled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what we talking
There you
about.
go.
Yeah. That was noise. That was awfully noise.
So good.
But don't let the quiet fool you. Behind the scenes, a transformation was taking place. The silence hasn't just been broken, it has been shattered by a spotlight so blinding, it's making the entire sports industry squint. While most athletes, even the greats, tend to fade into the background during the off-season, Caitlin Clark has managed to pull off the impossible. She has captured the collective gaze of the global audience without so much as the lace up a pair of sneakers or stepping onto a hardwood floor. This isn't just a comeback story, it's a total takeover. We aren't just talking about a return to the public eye, we are witnessing a seismic, massive power shift in the world of sports marketing that has left veteran analysts stunned and critics scrambling for an explanation. As the 2026 NCAA tournament looms on the horizon, a new, unstoppable force has emerged in the promotional landscape. Caitlin Clark hasn't just signed a deal, she has officially ascended into the pantheon of absolute legends. We're talking about the heavy hitters, Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, and Samuel L. Jackson. Let's put this into perspective. This isn't just another commercial to skip past on your DVR. This is a historic, multi-million-dollar campaign by Capital One, the primary sponsor of the entire NCAA tournament. For decades, this specific, iconic advertising real estate was a closed shop. It was a private club reserved for titans like Barkley and the legendary filmmaker Spike Lee. It was the old guard of sports and culture. But the gates have been kicked open. For the first time in history, new blood has not only entered the circle, but has been given a seat at the head of the table. This collaboration represents a historic bridging of eras. Think about the magnitude of this move. By placing the WNBA's most marketable face, a player who is still technically in the early chapters of her professional journey, alongside the undisputed icons of the NBA and the giants of Hollywood, the industry is sending a message that is loud, clear, and perhaps a little terrifying to the status quo. We are witnessing a literal gathering of legends, where the traditional boundaries between different eras of greatness are being systematically erased. Clark is no longer being categorized as a rising star or a prospect. She is being validated, treated, and paid as a peer to the greatest to ever do it. But as she climbs to these dizzying, unprecedented heights, a darker, more complex narrative is beginning to take root. You have to ask, is this level of individual success creating a divide that the WNBA, as a collective league, simply isn't ready to handle? Behind the scenes, the triple threat validation. The promotional video that has everyone talking is only 51 seconds long. In the age of TikTok and short-form content, 51 seconds is an eternity, but the impact of these specific seconds will likely be felt for the next decade. The premise is simple yet brilliant: the Battle of the Blimps. It features this powerhouse group engaged in playful, high-stakes banter as their respective blimps, personalized massive airships, race toward the Final Four. On the surface, it's a fun ad. But underneath, it is a symbolic race for relevance, market share, and legacy. The most iconic moment of the entire spot, the one that launched 1,000 headlines, comes when Magic Johnson himself, the man who redefined the point guard position, jokingly dubs Clark a triple threat. When a legend of Magic stature, a man who has seen every next big thing come and go for 40 years, welcomes you into a campaign that has traditionally been a fortress for veteran superstars, the world has no choice but to take notice. But what happened when the cameras stopped rolling? The atmosphere behind the scenes was just as significant as the high-gloss footage we see on our screens. For Caitlin Clark, this was a surreal, almost spiritual moment of coming full circle. Despite being the most talked-about woman in sports, she walked onto that set as a student of the game. She admitted openly that this was her very first time meeting all three of these legends in the flesh. "They're people I've watched on TV and admired my whole life," she noted in a rare moment of vulnerability. She spoke about how their humor and their veteran presence made an otherwise intense, high-pressure production feel easy. Despite the millions of fans and the record-breaking jersey sales, she stepped into that shoot with a profound sense of admiration for the men who paved the road she is now sprinting down.
The veterans, however, didn't just hand her the keys to the kingdom. In keeping with the long-standing tradition of this iconic ad series, they gave her the rookie treatment. Magic, Barkley, and Jackson made sure to have a bit of fun at the young star's expense, testing her wit and her resolve. Yet, even through the teasing and the hazing, the chemistry was palpable. You could feel it through the screen. This wasn't just a comedy sketch. It was a passing of the torch disguised as a brand promotion. It was the legends saying, "You belong here." But while the titans of the past were welcoming her with open arms, the reaction from the contemporary basketball world was becoming much more fractured and complicated. While the Blimps in the commercial are racing toward the Final Four, a storm of controversy and professional friction is brewing on the ground. The jealousy quotient and the Indianapolis storm. While half the world is celebrating Clark's meteoric rise, there is a significant vocal portion of the fan base that believes this level of exposure is a ticking time bomb. They believe this move will eventually backfire. Why? Because Caitlin Clark has become the ultimate figure of dualism in modern sports. She is a Rorschach test for basketball fans. You either love her with an intense, borderline religious passion, or you resent her with a burning, quiet fury. As she gains new fans by the millions, she is simultaneously, perhaps unintentionally, awakening deep-seated feelings of jealousy in her detractors. These haters are no longer just criticizing her logo threes or her passing. They are using her mainstream, commercial success as a weapon against her credibility. The argument being whispered in locker rooms and shouted on podcasts is that her fame has now outpaced her professional achievements. Social media has become the primary theater of war for this narrative. The jealousy quotient, a term now being used to describe the rising tension within the WNBA, is predicted to go off the charts. Fans are pointing to this Capital One milestone as the ultimate trigger for her peers. One fan put it bluntly on social media. This is exactly why they hate her. Because CC has the respect and admiration of legends, and she's making millions from endorsements while others are still waiting for their turn. The harsh, uncomfortable reality that many observers are finally starting to vocalize is this. No other player in the history of the WNBA could have pulled this off. She didn't just join the league, she became its son, and every other star is now forced to orbit her gravity. She is, quite simply, the biggest star the league has ever seen, and that kind of singular brilliance always comes with a price. The Battle of the Blimps is a magnificent spectacle, a masterclass in branding. But at the end of the day, the Blimps will land and the cameras will be packed away. The real deal, the moment of truth, begins the very second she steps back onto the court in Indianapolis. All the endorsements, all the Hollywood cameos, and all the jokes with Charles Barkley won't save her if the ball doesn't go through the hoop. But here's the thing. If the divine light of her sole presence and her off-season work is any indication, the 2026 season isn't just going to be another year of basketball. It is poised to be her most explosive, most defiant, and most dominant performance yet. The world isn't just watching anymore. The world is waiting. They are waiting to see if Caitlin Clark can handle the crushing weight of being the triple threat that Magic Johnson says she is. Or will the jealousy of the league finally find a way to dim the light of the brightest star in the sky? What do you think? Is the WNBA ready for a superstar this big? Or is the jealousy quotient about to tear the league apart?
Hit the comments and let us know. And don't forget to subscribe as we track every move of this historic 2026 season.